So recently Bernice Burgos turned 46 and she looks absolutely phenomenal, you guys. Gorgeous, flipping amazing. And as I expected, people were in the comment section asking her what her skincare routine is, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, you guys, but even if you were to use the exact same skincare routine as Bernice Burgos, I'm afraid you still won't age like her, because it's NEOTENY, you guys. If you don't know what it is, Google it or ask ChatGPT, but it is in her genetics to look that way. And I know that people were in the comment section like suggesting that perhaps it is Botox or filler, and you know, maybe she is getting a little tweak done here and there, but it is still in her genes to look that way. Because look at her neck, look at her hands, like, because people can't even get like a neck lift the same way they can get a facelift, but what about her hands though? Like, ain't nothing you can do about your hands. Okay, one telltale sign to tell that someone is, you know, a little more mature is by looking at their teeth, by looking at their neck, by looking at their hands. And you know, now you can't tell anymore with the teeth because of hot teeth, sorry, Venus, but you can still tell because of the hands. Okay, because baby, even if you can get a neck lift, there is nothing you can do concerning your hands. And Bernice's hands still look very smooth, so she's somebody who has been genetically predisposed to age this way. She also has posted pictures on Instagram of her sister, of her mom, of her grandmother, even her great grandmother, you guys. And I can tell you, because last year I saw a video where she was celebrating her great grandmother turning 109. You know, she had a little cake for her and everything. And baby, even though the lady was 109, she didn't look a day older than 85. Okay, she also had that super smooth skin. You know, obviously she had wrinkle on her skin, but she had what skincare junkie call glass skin, as in she didn't have any hyperpigmentation on her face, just like Bernice doesn't, just like Bernice's mom doesn't, just like Bernice's sister doesn't. And you can just tell it's in her genetics to look that way. Another one is Halle Berry. Another one is Bianca Lawson. You guys, I am convinced Bianca Lawson is a vampire, because in no way, okay, like, as a matter of fact, I believe they were doing something on that set of Buffy, because even Sarah Michelle Gellar is aging gracefully. Like, nobody can convince me they were not drinking blood on that Vampire the Diaries set, because baby, on that Buffy set, because baby, the way they are aging so gracefully is incredible. Okay, and it is not because of lifestyle, or not only because of lifestyle or skincare. And I'm going to use Nicole Murphy as an example. Now, Nicole Murphy's body is to die for. I would literally unalive somebody for her physique. Yes, that is how shallow I am, but yeah, her physique is incredible. I don't think most people understand how much dedication, abnegation, and discipline it takes to look the way she does at 53. And you know, it's not reasonable to think that someone who takes that amazing care of her body is not doing the same thing for her face. As a matter of fact, we don't even have to guess. Like, on her Instagram, she does post regular videos of herself doing skincare. I believe she even have a sugar scrub for sale. So this is somebody who also takes impeccable care of her face. And yeah, and still her face is giving in. Now, some people are going to say it's because she isn't melanated. Well, she's only a shade or maximum 2 lighter than Halle Berry, and you know, Halle Berry is aging, in my opinion, face wise, a lot better than her. So it is genetics, you guys. These things are like 90% genetics. And I know that, you know, skincare companies don't want you to know this, because they are billion-dollar companies, and you know, they are banking off of your insecurities. They are counting on you in order to buy this product so that they can continue making money. But over-the-counter stuff doesn't work, in my opinion. You know, it's cutesy, you know, it's a feel-good thing, but in my opinion, it doesn't do much. Like, if you're looking to really do something when it comes to aging, or even when it comes to, you know, evening out your face, if you're somebody who struggles with acne or hyperpigmentation, you're probably going to need like more aggressive stuff like hydrofacials, chemical peels, you know, lasers like Moxie. Like, you're gonna have to go to a professional, you're gonna have to go to a med spa, because most over-the-counter stuff just don't work, unfortunately. Like, that is just a bitter truth that a lot of people don't like to talk about. You know, people are always in the comment section of influencers asking them, what are you using, what are you using? And then they say this, that, and the third, because, you know, they get commission when they say that. But a lot of influencers also, you know, go and get the hydrofacials, and they go and get, you know, the chemical pills. I know that some people do their chemical pills at home, but a lot of influencers actually have the means to get, you know, professional stuff done, and then they come and they plug all these potions and creams to your that don't work, that won't make a difference. Because at the end of the day, again, a lot of this stuff, it's cutesy, it smells good, packaging be nice, but in my opinion, it just feel good stuff. It doesn't really do much. Because yeah, aging and things like clear skin, you guys, it is mostly genetics. There are so many women out there who are doing everything possible, but they're still not getting, you know, the result that they want, that they desire. Because the same way you can't outtrain a bad diet, have you ever heard that? It's the same way you can't outrun your genetics, you guys. Like, unfortunately, when it comes to aging, you just can't outrun your genetics. Like, it's possible to age gracefully, but looking 10, 15, 20, 25 years younger than you are, that is just genetics, you guys, and we have to accept that. And also remember that aging is a privilege. I feel privileged to be almost 38. I feel privileged to be able to see my 15-year-old daughter grow and getting older and living her own life and becoming her own person. Like, that's a privilege, so let's not forget that. Now, I wanted to end this video on a positive note, so I'm going to share with you a couple of things that will help you age gracefully. Again, I'm not talking looking 10, 15, 20, 25 years younger than you actually are. Only drinking blood can do that for you. Okay, but I am talking, you know, aging gracefully, looking like you take impeccable care of yourself, just like Nicole Murphy. And number one is avoid, or at least limit, stress. Okay, nobody can avoid stress completely, but you have to limit stress. Stay away from people's unhealed sun. I'm not even joking, you guys. Like, men will have you stressed the F out, you know, acting erratic and everything. Okay, a lot of women are out here looking very, very stressed because of the men that they choose to attach themselves to. So be mindful who you let into your life, because some of these people are literally energy vampires. Okay, so be mindful of that. Also, if you are somebody who have small kids, make sure you still make time for self-care. Go and take a weekend and leave the kids with their dad. At the end of the day, he help you procreate them, so he can also help you take care of them. So go on a girls trip, or just take you a long weekend. Still do, you know, skincare, even if it's just, you know, feel good thingy, in my opinion, but still you deserve a feel-good moment. So make sure that even though you have, you know, 2, 3 toddlers, if you do that, you are still taking time for yourself. Okay, take time to work out, take time to read and chill with a glass of wine or whatever. Like, still take care of yourself and avoid and minimize stress. Another one is sleep. Okay, I feel like this one is very, very underrated. Not enough people talk about it, but sleep is essential when it comes to aging gracefully. Your body needs time. Okay, your body, your genes need time in order to regenerate. So it's important to get at least 7 hours of sleep every single night. Anywhere from 7 to 9 hours is ideal, but yeah, at least 7. Now, of course, it can happen that we have a bad night where we only get 5 or 6 hours of sleep, but make sure it's not something that happens all the time, over and over and over again. Okay, make sure you are getting at least 7 hours of sleep a night. And last but not least, you guys, lifestyle. Okay, a lot of people were mentioning in Bernice's birthday video that she doesn't drink, and it was surprising to me because, you know, she used to be or still is a host, but at the same time, it wasn't surprising, you know, given the way she looks. Even though it's mainly genetics, lifestyle does help a lot. So make sure you don't drink too much alcohol. I would say limit alcohol consumption to 2-3 glasses a week, even though French people do drink 2 glasses of red a day and they claim that it's good for you, good for your health, but I feel like that's just a marketing team for red wine. But anyways, make sure you don't drink more than 2 glasses a day. Okay, I'm not going to push not drinking at all because I don't usually preach what I don't practice. Okay, but yeah, limit alcohol consumption to maximum 2 glasses a night. Okay, make sure that you eat a healthy whole food diet, eat a lot of fruit, a lot of veggies, drink a lot of water. You girls, a gallon a day. Water is so important. It's going to help you hydrate, you know, your entire body. Our bodies are made 70% of water, so we need water, water, water. Add cucumber to your daily regime, you know, whether you incorporate it in your smoothies, whether you make yourself cucumber water, sweet potatoes, avocados, healthy nuts like almonds, salmon, kale, all that good stuff, you know, all the good jazz, all the super healthy superfoods that are out there. Make sure you eat, you know, a lot of them, you know, not in calorific surplus, but you know, make sure that your diet is mainly made of, you know, whole food. The occasional cheat meal is okay, but stay away from sugar. Refined sugar is not good for us at all. You know, it's just going to make you gain weight, which is another thing that is going to make you look older than you are. You know, we just associate bigger women with being of a certain age because of motherhood, I think, you know, because women who are usually pregnant tend to gain a lot of weight. And then when women are pregnant, you know, 2-3 times, when they get 2-3 kids back to back, it becomes harder to lose the weight, even though we have some very, very fit mom out there. But yeah, generally we associate, you know, weight gain or women who are bigger with being older because we generally think that they are a mom to 2-3 kids. So make sure that you keep your weight in check. I hate to have to say this, but in a fat phobic society, unfortunately I have to. If you are somebody who want to be viewed as, you know, young or a little younger than you are, then it is important to keep your weight in check. And last but not least, you guys, is working out. Okay, make sure you work out, not only because it's going to help you age gracefully, but also because it's going to help you keep your muscle, which is something that you're really going to need as you age. As you get older, it's really important that we have a lot of muscle. So make sure you are eating your proteins so that, you know, you can keep your muscle. Even if you are dieting, prioritize protein. Having muscles as we age is very, very important. You know, this is why we see sometimes people who are only 70, you know, today 70 is, I guess, relatively young because people live to be, you know, 90 and stuff, who are already like this, you know, like their back is rounded, and that is because they were not able to retain their muscles in the back and, you know, all over the body. They walk, you know, using a rollator. So make sure that you keep your muscle. Make sure you eat a lot of lean protein. Make sure you work out. Make sure you eat healthy. Make sure you live a healthy lifestyle. Make sure you sleep enough. We talked about it already, at least 7 hours. Make sure you exercise. Just make sure you take impeccable care of yourself, because you are worth it. You deserve it, because you love yourself, you guys. Not only because you want to look younger, not only because you want to age gracefully, but because you love yourself. And in closing of this video, I want to say, remember that aging is a privilege. A lot of people didn't get that privilege. Now I know that, you know, we are under a lot of pressure to look 20 when we are 40 nowadays with social media and internet, but never forget that aging in and out itself is a privilege. You are privileged to be alive. There's a reason why we call today the present, because it is indeed a gift. So never forget that. You know, go to any hospital right now and you're going to see 6 years old who are going through leukemia, cancer treatment, okay? People who are never going to celebrate their 7th birthday. So remember that you are fortunate to be alive. You are fortunate to be aging. If you are over 30, you are fortunate to have celebrated your 30th birthday. Never forget that aging is a privilege. There are people in the graveyard right now. I would actually argue that if you go to any graveyard and wake anybody and tell them if they rather lay there or come back alive and look a lot older than they actually are, all of them would say that they rather come back to life and look a lot older than they actually are than lay there. They want to come back to life and see their grandchildren if they had any, see their kids if they had any, eat their favorite meal again, just take a walk, listen to music, read, I don't know, you know, whatever it is we like or enjoy doing. So remember that living, being alive, being well, being healthy, aging is indeed, in fact, a privilege. As always, thanks for watching. Bye guys. Mwah.